Here to discuss AI and the future of work, please welcome Ethan Mollick, professor and co-director of the Generative AI Lab at Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, with Ross Andersen, staff writer at The Atlantic.
All right. Ethan, great to have you here with us. I have to say, for people like me who professionally pay attention to AI, your Twitter feed, your Substack, your book has just become essential. You've been kind of a clearinghouse. I kind of want to dig into a little bit how you work later. But first, I suspect, and I'm not going to make anybody raise their hand, but that there are people in this room who potentially 2 years ago, when ChatGPT first came out, gave it a little try, weren't that impressed with it, haven't looked at it since. What would you say to them has sort of changed and evolved over the last 2 years?
It's a great question. So if you're one of these people, the most important sort of informal rule in AI right now is called the scaling law. And the bigger your AI model is, the more information was crammed into it, the more money was spent training it, the more electricity was spent training it, the smarter it is. So smarter, larger model, better. ChatGPT, the original version, was 100 times smaller than the model available. Okay. All right, I'll try. It's better. This is good. I can go into full professor lecture mode to at a point and just project if needed. Okay, yeah, thank you. Stand up, start pacing around. Okay, so where we left off. Larger models are better, right? And there's this Bloomberg spent all this money training a specialized model about the size of the original ChatGPT on all the financial data, so it can make predictions about numbers and finance. Oops, thank you.
There we go.
All right, this is good. All right, so to make predictions based on like stock market sentiment and things like that. So Bloomberg trained this model, and they spent $10 million plus doing it. And then it worked pretty well. And then they discovered that GPT-4, even though it wasn't trained on finance, was much better at it because it was just a larger model. Yeah. So if you haven't used one of the more recent models, they're just better at everything. They're smarter, they make less mistakes, they hallucinate less. It's worth trying.
You talked about hallucination, and that's been, for me, I think these tools are really great. Oh, wow. I use them quite often in my personal workflow, I don't mind admitting. But I have been fooled by some hallucinations. I'm not going to admit any because I'm the moderator. I'm going to have you do it. Tell me a time when you've been taken in by a hallucination and how you've sort of kind of proofed against that in your work.
Excellent. And the AI is trying to make me not talk. That's why they're cutting us off. But we're not going to let it here. Okay, so hallucination, just for the people who don't know, hallucination is when the AI makes up something that's very plausible, that isn't real. It's not like a human hallucination, but it's an inherent property of AI or large language models because they don't look up information in a database. They have learned the statistical pattern of human language, and they're just producing the next most likely word, like autocomplete on steroids. So the fact that they're usually right is actually kind of weird because there's no reason for them to be. So hallucinations are these plausible errors. And I've had a lot of these because I've used this system a lot and I've been taken in before. But my favorite was that I had an AI system looking at one of my papers and I had it summarize it and it gave a couple quotes. And one of the quotes I was like, this is a really good quote. I am such a good writer. And then I looked to find that quote in the article I wrote and it wasn't there. It was 100% hallucinated. So I feel pretty good about that for a second, and then I felt much worse. So I failed my own Turing test, basically, is what I'm saying.
Well, and there's been some really dramatic examples of this. For instance, there was a lawyer who filed a brief, and the judge went to hunt down all the citations and found out that they were all hallucinations. Now, is it the case that a lawyer who wants to work these tools, if they had kind of workarounds and were very responsible, could use them to find citations, or should lawyers be kind of staying away from this altogether when it comes to actually finding case law, not like polishing up their writing or whatever it is?
So I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make in AI is sort of thinking it like Google. It doesn't work like Google, right? AI is a very different kind of tool. And if you use it enough, you start to understand what it's good or bad at. So it's not great at looking up information about the world. Citations, quotes are really weak spots of it. But I've talked to lots of lawyers who are using it to practice their arguments against. I certainly throw every legal document I have into it first to get a first opinion. Sometimes it finds things you wouldn't expect. So you have to kind of learn where to use it and where not to. And hallucination for small details, I'd be nervous if I had to be accurate in a small detail. My standard is always BAH, best available human. Is the AI more or less accurate than the best human you could talk to about the problem?
How often is it?
Increasingly a lot is the answer. So I mean, and that's the other thing, by the way. When we talk about ChatGPT 3.5, on test scores and everything else, it was, so to put it one way, it got 65% on the GRE qualitative. I should qualify, 65% of the GRE graduate qualitative exam, it beat 65% of humans. Now the AIs beat 95% of humans. So they're getting better all the time at these kind of things.
You were recently part of a really big study with some colleagues for the Harvard Business Review, and you were taking a look at how these tools can help just the sort of everyday knowledge worker, white-collar office person, increase their productivity and the quality of their work. Tell us what you found.
So we did a study at BCG, Boston Consulting Group, elite consulting company, created 18 realistic business tasks, persuasion, analysis, everything you'd kind of expect to see that consultants do. In fact, it's the same questions they ask people to hire them for their job. Some people got access to GPT-4, the same plain vanilla GPT-4 that 5 billion people in the world have free access to, by the way, and some did not. If you got access to it without training, without anything else, we saw an instantaneous 40% improvement in the quality of their work, 26% faster, about 13% more work done without any training or anything else. And to put that in context, when the Industrial Revolution happened in the US in the early 1800s, the average factory that got steam power performance improved by 18 to 22% per worker. So these are really big numbers.
I want to drill down on the study a little bit, but first, talk about how we might see that additional productivity sort of trickle out into the larger productivity of the economy.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So right now, a lot of this stuff is being captured by people. Like everybody's secretly using AI. When I ask people in corporate audiences, no one raised their hand, but we have representative surveys from the Wharton Foundation. 70% of undergrads and 70% of K-12 students are using AI in school. So anyone who is still in school here, you're definitely cheating. Everybody is. But also, there's a representative survey of Denmark. 65% of marketers are using this at work. 63% of coders. It's pretty universal, but what's happening is the value is being captured by individuals right now. They're basically short-circuiting all their work and just having AI do it and then not telling anyone about it because they don't want to get in trouble from their companies. So part of this is about changing the nature of work to encourage these people to chime in, but also how do we restructure work around this kind of new intelligence also?
How long is that sort of secret closet AI user era going to last?
I think it's until companies realize, every company that I talk to gives everyone a scare speech, which is you don't use AI or use it, but if you use it wrong, you'll be punished and fired. So what happens is, by the way, I spoke to one of the women who wrote the ChatGPT banning policy in a major bank. She used ChatGPT to write it secretly on her phone, because why would she do it by hand? So what happens is people learn that, and they also realize what happens when something gets automated. You get a 30% productivity improvement, we fire 30% of our workers. So they don't want to show you they're doing it. And also, Reddit's full of people saying, everyone at work thinks I'm a wizard because I'm using AI. And so they don't tell you because they're afraid of being fired. They're afraid you'll respect their work less. They're afraid that you won't get credit for that. They're afraid you'll be asked them to do more work. So until we change the incentives, I think we're not going to see that kind of benefit happen.
So you mentioned these huge jumps in productivity, and should we understand that as being a matter of the very best performers getting 2 and 3 times better, or is it raising the floor, the people who maybe weren't so hot at their job previously, kind of now just being sort of replacement grade? So
that's a really profound question. We have a first run at that, which the data is really clear. We found this in the BCG study too. The first people who benefit are low performers. So if you're in the bottom half of the distribution, by the way, BCG, all smart people, in case you're in the room, you're all great. But if you're in the bottom half of the distribution beforehand, you got a 60% improvement. If you're in the top half, you got 18%. Still very large. It gets a little weirder because we were actually looking at something called retainment, which is how much of the AI's answer the consultant eventually turned in as their own answer. And it turned out that for 80% of consultants, the only way to screw up was to change any of GPT's answers by adding your own thoughts or ideas. So what's happening is it established the floor by being pretty darn good out of the box. And we're seeing this across different fields. Programming, lawyers who use this, there's no bad lawyers anymore. The first run is boosting up the bottom performers because the AI does the work. We're starting to get some data that top performers, when they learn to use this, get huge productivity gains too, but it's early days on that.
And what's the difference in how the very top producers use it?
So we don't 100% know yet, right? There's a really interesting paper out of Kenya, a controlled study that shows that entrepreneurs who are already doing well, who get advice from the AI, not help doing stuff, but just advice, had an 18% improvement in profitability, which is a huge number from just getting AI advice bottom performers did worse because they couldn't implement the AI's advice, right? So we start to have this interesting, my whole argument's been about humans having to interact with the AI well. So you learn your own method, and experts I see that use this figure out ways to supplement the things they're less good at and focus on the things they're better at.
You have this really neat conceptual distinction when it comes to sort of how people use the AI, which is using it as a centaur and using it as a cyborg. Can you explain that? And then also tell us like which mode you prefer.
Okay, so centaur, half person, half horse, and similarly, half divided AI and you clear dividing line like the centaur. So I like doing analysis. I hate writing emails. You do the emails AI. I do the analysis. So that's kind of the first phase. When you start to use these systems more, you start to do more of the cyborg thing, the blended human machine. So like I wrote this book, Co-Intelligence, out now, and this is my third book. Every time I agree to write a book, I am filled with regret because book writing is really hard, in general. But this was the easiest book I ever wrote, and not because a lot of AI writing is in the book that isn't identified as AI writing. Instead, it's because the AI helped me fill in those little gaps, like a cyborg, right? So I couldn't finish a sentence. It would normally I'd walk away and the day's shot kind of, right? Instead, give me 30 versions of how to end this sentence as an inspiration. Read these academic articles, make sure I'm citing them properly. What analogies could I use to explain this? Pretend you're a naive reader. What have I missed here that might be interesting? Is there something that's confusing that I should cover? All of that stuff is that cyborg work, like throwing individual things out to the AI, sort of like how people just Google things they want to know. This is a similar kind of thing with a wider swath of work.
When it comes to the big AI labs, and I'm thinking of like Google DeepMind, I'm thinking of Anthropic, and of course OpenAI. They each have a kind of flagship model, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, of course. Which do you think is running the best right now and why?
Okay, so everyone's got their own personal likes or dislikes, but if I was going to tell you what to do, I think you basically are going to pick between two models right now. That might change this afternoon. Apparently Google's making announcements. Everything moves quite quickly. But ChatGPT is just a generally good choice because it has a pretty good voice mode, it's a good app, and it kind of can do everything. See images, write code, run code, work with documents. Most people I know who like words and writing, maybe some of you here in the room, find Claude from Anthropic, which also has an app, to be like a more charming model that's kind of more intellectually stimulating. But they have personalities, essentially. Like, you'll get to know the personality of the AI. My number one advice has always been, like, just spend 10 hours using it for everything, and you'll get it. There's no instruction manual you're missing.
Has any of that changed with the new O1 model that OpenAI just released?
Okay, so O1 is this new AI model that just came out. It's completely baffling in some ways for those of us who use these systems for a lot. To understand what it does, it's worth knowing two things. One, I talked about the scaling law before. The bigger your model is, the smarter your model is. And what that's always meant is that to build the next generation of models, you need to build 10 times larger data centers, spend 10 times as much money. So it'll cost $1 billion for GPT-5, $10 billion for GPT-6, $100 billion, like, number scales up like that. But what O1 showed us was the second scaling law, which is the longer your model thinks, the longer it processes, the smarter it gets. So this AI model just kind of thinks for a while to solve your problems. And that makes it really weird to work with. So it's able of doing like really complex intellectual tasks, but very narrow ones. So like it can do like college level, physics, right? Or post-grad level physics for some kinds of problems, but not for others. And we don't fully understand it. I don't think OpenAI knows what's great or bad at. Like, everything is kind of released into the world. I think if you think that there's people who actually know what these models do very deeply, they don't. Like, they're using it for coding. They have never used it in your subfield. They've never used it for writing, never used it for economics, never used it for physics. That's sort of, they're leaving it for the world to discover what they do or not.
Stepping away from these kind of globally famous models, Claude and ChatGPT, tell us about some of the, one of the reasons that I love your Twitter feed is that someone will release like a very small tool that maybe 100 people in the world are using, and you will do that 10 hours kind of immediately and tell us whether we should use it or not. So give me a sense for like the small tools, the tools that people may not have heard of that are out there and that you find really enhance your productivity. So,
productivity, it's kind of a trade-off, right? Because like this is like fun to play with, so then I'm not as productive, so it's hard to argue. The thing, it's actually from a big lab, Google, but it's in their labs department. If you have not tried Notebook LM, you should Google it and try it. You can put a million words of text into it, and it's capable of both. You can immediately then talk to the text, ask questions. You'll still get hallucinations, not 100% accurate, but fairly accurate. It could turn into storylines, timelines, but really cool. There's a option to turn things into podcasts that add 2 human voices talking to each other with interruptions. Like, it's hard to express how interesting this is, but that's a recommended kind of experience to just have, and it's free right now, so why not? And then I'm not paid by any AI lab, just to make that clear. And then I think on the other side, you probably should be trying to experiment a little bit with some of what's going on with visual stuff as well. And the 2 models that are kind of most interesting to look at right now are probably Ideogram, which is really good at creating text and stuff, and then Runway, which does video from command. And those are just interesting things to experiment with.
In your book, Co-Intelligence, you kind of lay out these rules for dealing with the AI, and I was intrigued to learn that one of them is treat AI like a human, because there is a community of kind of scholars and people who think about AI who say that, look, it's a mistake to anthropomorphize these things. It sort of betrays a lack of understanding of how they work. Tell me how you reconcile those two.
So the original sin of AI is anthropomorphizing something. Like, there's all of this literature, like, once we do this, we stop understanding what the machine does, and we attribute human attributes to it, which is problematic, and everybody's right about that. And computer science have anthropomorphized since the beginning. So, like, they complain about it, and then they decide to call things learning and training. Like, that ship has sailed, right? On top of that ship sailing, it's the fact that these systems, because they're trained in human language, work more like people than like machines. Simon Wilson, who is this really great coder who works with AI, who is a friend of mine, has one of these really great examples where he had Claude, which is the model I told you is really good. It's great at, you could take a picture of anything, it could read documents, guess people's emotions, really interesting. But he was using it to read documents on open documents of political contributions. And it was scanning all these documents in, and it had people's donations and their addresses, that's all public information. He checked back in on the results after a bit, and the AI said, I'm getting uncomfortable, and like this was the thing, that this feels like private information, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. Like, how do you deal with a machine that decides it has an ethical standard against doing your work? That is super weird. But if you treat it like a person, understand what lines and other stuff are, you're in a very different shape. So it responds well to being a person. Also, coders have trouble using the system. If you are a word person, you're going to get a lot of joy out of using these things. If you're a good manager, you're going to figure out how to use it really well. If you're a good teacher, parents do really well, because you'll get a sense of where this thing's going. You'll be like, no. Please stop talking about this again. I've heard you talk about this 10,000 times. Let's do it this way. Or think step by step. Actually, why don't you start by thinking about this problem? And you will find you can get amazing results. That's part of why it's important to do not just one. Like, your first instincts are going to be bad. You'll talk to it like Google, do this, and then eventually you're like, oh, let's persuade you. Let's have a conversation.
Over the last 2 years, this has been really exciting watching this kind of new AI revolution unfold, but it's given me a lot of anxiety as a parent. Not because I tend to be sort of a general optimist about the future, but I find myself like kind of speechless when my kids are like, Daddy, what should I be when I grow up? Which they don't often say to me. But I've got a 15 and an 11-year-old, and I'm not really sure what this is going to mean for their professional life in the fullness of time, 5-10 years from now. Where did you, if you're pointing young people towards the future, where they're going to work, where their skills are going to still be valuable, what are you telling them?
So, I also have kids in high school, and I think about this question. I get asked this by my undergraduates and graduate students all the time. And right now, I would say, if you're really good at something, if it's in your talent zone, if you're in the top 1% and everyone's got something in that zone, you're probably going to beat the AI for at least another couple generations. We don't know how good these systems are going to get ultimately, and that's going to have a big effect on the world. But whatever you're best at, you're probably better than AI, and you'll be able to work most directly with AI. And I think that's I would double down on what you do. I think borders of jobs are going to change. The tasks you do in a job are going to change. I don't think that necessarily means entire job categories. Well, some, but not. I think that people overestimate how much AI will take over all jobs all the time, everywhere, and it's going to change what we do, just like any other technological change. And I think focusing on what you love and what you're good at is probably the best bet all the time.
Ethan, thanks for being with us today. This is great.
Thanks for having me.